Okay, so I took one trade today. There was another bad trade from me. I took on Nasdaq, and I'll go through it now. So my bias for the day was bullish. I wanted to look for a bullish trade, but I knew we were going to have a retracement. Okay, so if I get rid of these. Okay, so I had my 1 hour fair value gap here marked out. We also had a 4 hour fair value gap in the same place, so 4 hour, 1 hour, whatever. But I just marked it as a 1 hour fair value gap. We had a 1 hour fair value gap, and I marked EQ. If we go to the top of this high, I marked EQ here, yeah, from this move up to here. So I was basing on the 1 hour. Obviously, I saw on the daily we had this fair value gap. We had these fair value gaps down here. We had a lot of room, but we also had a lot of room on these ones, and we went down a little bit and then carried on. But as I went in, I went on the 15 minute. We had CPI at 1:30 today. We had CPI at 1:30. This was this candle, and it came up and swept this liquidity, yeah. And we came straight back down, and we had equal lows. So obviously I was looking for a bullish trade, but I knew we were going to have a retracement. We had equal lows here, and I thought price was going to sweep that, tap into EQ, which was here, and go straight up. So what happened? Price came down, swept these equal lows, touched into this EQ, touched into the 1 hour fair value gap. Sorry, my voice is gone. Touched into the 1 hour fair value gap, and I decided to enter off a 1 minute rejection fair value gap because I was so confident, which I don't know why. I had a 1 minute fair value gap here that got disrespected. Price came back, tapped into it, and it had a nice candle up, and I entered off it. I would say this was definitely my worst trade I've ever taken because the only confluences I had was equal lows swept out and a 1 minute rejection fair value gap. This 1 hour fair value gap didn't even get respect. Like, it got respected, but if you look how big the fair value gap is, or even if I did it on the 4 hour, it's even worse. It barely tapped into it, really. And then also my EQ was horribly wrong. I mean, technically my EQ could have been that, but it should have been this whole move here, and I was further down. And there I wouldn't have entered, obviously. So yeah, that's where I went wrong. Well, I'll go through a couple of reasons why I was wrong. But first of all, my only confidence that hit was equal lows got swept and a rejection fair value gap got disrespected, then respected. Order flow was bearish. We had a disrespect of a 5 minute, respect 5 minute. We had lower lows, taking out these lows, broke 5 minute liquidity, lower low here, lower highs. So we broke 5 minute structure, sorry, not liquidity, broke 5 minute structure to the downside. We never broke it to the upside again. We still haven't. We then had a 1 minute break structure. Obviously here, all these were 1 minute break structures. We didn't have a 1 minute break structure back to the upside. We had a 5 minute rejection fair value gap. Here, we didn't have a 5 minute rejection to the upside. And we also price respective 5 minute fair value gaps. We didn't have a price respective 5 minute fair value gap to the upside. So we only had a 1 minute rejection fair value gap. I really don't know why I entered. This was definitely my worst trade. We also, another reason why I don't know why I trade, was I was bullish for the day, yeah. I would have priced to come down here. But we obviously sweeps liquidity up here, and we had this massive fair value gap. We had these lows. If you go on the 15 minute, we had fair value gap, we had this low, we had this low, all this liquidity down here, and obviously prices come down to this daily fair value gap, which is probably going to go to this one now. And I decided to ignore that, and I decided to enter here, where that was the most riskiest place I could have entered, I think. Because it swept those lows, but realistically it was just breaking. It was just change of structure. It just, it was basically just a change of structure. It wasn't a liquidity sweep at all. So yeah, what else didn't I? Yeah, so the EQ, I didn't mark the proper EQ as well, because if you look on the EQ that I've done, price did come straight through to it. But yeah, obviously you can see where we had an up candle here. A lot of people did trade bullish here. So and I also saw in the communities a lot of people traded bullish. But if you just look, it's such a stupid place to enter. Obviously I put my take profits up here and up here. Another reason was because price on ES came up to this last 5 minute fair value gap. So I thought price was at least going to do that before it went down. But yeah, I really don't know why I traded bullish. Entering off equal lows, getting taken out on a 1 minute rejection fair value gap. While all the breaker structures, all the fair value gaps were pointing to the downside. I should have seen that. So yeah, pretty bad trade. I'll do another video on, which I'll probably just do for myself. I probably won't post it, but on basically the trade I should have taken. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to back testing now. I'm probably not going to trade tomorrow because I've lost 4 trades in a row now, 3 trades in a row, and I think the past 2 weeks I've won about 2 trades. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to refining my strategy and looking a bit more into my strategy and what I can implement, what I can take out, and having a proper strategy really. So yeah, not a great trading day, probably one of my worst. Big lesson, but the past 2 days have been big lessons and I haven't learned from them. So yeah, today I'm just gonna back test after this, learn the markets and be more patient really, because I really don't know what happened to me in the moment to enter off a 1 minute rejection fair value gap. Because if you look here, we even had a 1 minute rejection fair value gap here and I still entered. So yeah, I really don't know what came through me. Obviously we can see the order flow is just so bearish, but yeah, it is what it is. We go back again probably next week